Yeah, boom.
Okay, everyone, I think you're all back. Everyone here? Everyone had a busy time of it. And I want to tell you, writing the goal is really hard work. And it's one reason why I say that if you get, if you're doing this at the last minute, it's really hard because you want to write a goal that really works and that you can then come up with, really thoughtfully think through what are your 3 to 5 objectives and what are the tasks. Because if you don't have time to do that, then it's going to be pretty obvious to the reviewers that you might have a great idea, but you don't quite know where you're going with it. And so to me, it forces you to do this logical thinking. And probably none of these goals are exactly where they should be right now, just like none of the summaries were quite where they should be, but they all had excellent language and good thinking that is leading you towards that. And then a lot of what you need to do next is just kind of sharpen, shorten, and just make sure that the outcomes that you're coming up with meet a couple of criteria. One, that they actually are measurable, important outcomes that you want to achieve through this project, that they really make sense to you. And two, really, it's also a marketing thing. I mean, that they're also going to appeal to the reader, to the folks who are reviewing, that they are going to see these as important, fundable outcomes that they're going to get excited about. And they're going to want to read ahead and see how is it that you're going to manage these. So before we go to sharing a couple of these and having some of you be the review committee, which I think is really helpful. Any thoughts about how this felt, what it was like? Was it hard? Was it easy? Did the summary help a lot? Was it frustrating? Did it come pretty, any comments on this process?
It was hard.
Why?
Because
I agree, it is, but why is it hard?
it's just hard to really pin down the shortest version.
Yeah.
With the most impact.
It's really, I've always said that grant writing, I do all kinds of writing, but grant writing is at both times, it's the hardest and also some of the most creative work I do, because you really do have to put yourself in the seat of those reviewers, and you have to come up with language that is, short, concise, clear, but also really gets folks excited and understanding that you're competing against, they may be picking 7, 8 grants out of 20, 30, or even more proposals. And so you need to be like such a good communicator. And it's really hard to do. Anybody else comment on this?
And when we came out of this is Deb, I was saying, I was thinking I couldn't have done this without the group in the breakout room.
Yeah.
It's funny because that was my last question I was going to ask you before we go, is what does it feel like to have helpers here?
Great.
And it's amazing how even people who have never heard of your project can get excited about it and really help you sharpen and focus. And as I said early on last time, is people used to ask me, how could I be what I call the ghost grant writer when I came in and didn't know anything about the project? And I actually found that to be so helpful, because in order to make it really clear and exciting, the folks who were hiring me had to be able to tell me and get me excited about it. So Deb, I really appreciate you saying that, because I think the group is really important. And before we go to this, I want to say one other thing about the group. Yes, the group is really important and it matters, but I want to tell you, really beware of grant writing by group. If you get 6, 8 people together and say, let's write a grant, it's not going to work. It really isn't. You're going to end up with people, it's going to be very inefficient, and you're going to end up with different writing styles and different ideas. So in my mind, the way it really works best is there are a couple of you who are really the key writers. And then you go to your program people and ask them to give you, we need something that explains, you know, let's say it's a after school recreation program. We need something that, you know, tell us, program person, what is it you want to do with these kids? Tell us the outside stuff and inside stuff. And then you go to the person who deals with the parents and say, you know, tell us how you're going to get people to do this. How are you, you know, what is your marketing strategy? And then really just one or two of you put it together. You do need brainstorming with a large group to start with, but I have not seen it work. Have any of you tried to write a grant by committee with 4 or 5 or 6 people?
Yes.
And how was that, Sharon?
Well, it was kind of difficult and awkward because we were all working toward the same goal, but had quite different ideas, and some people don't want to let go of them, certain things. And
did you feel like you ended up with the best product possible, or would it have maybe been better if a couple of you had really taken charge?
I think it would have been better if it had been agreed in the beginning that we'd work on it together, but then give someone sort of the authority to make the finished product.
That's really my
Get
recommendation.
it done.
And usually it's someone who's going to be the writer and the budget person or finance person. To me, those are the two people who create the finished product. Okay, let's go on. So I think with this goal, we'll start with group number 4 this time. So group number 4.
Okay.
Remind us of your project just very quickly.
Well, since I wrote the thing down, I guess I'll talk. It's in Townsend, the town of Townsend. We're looking to install a chairlift up to the 2nd floor, where most of the major town functions occur, as well as it's used by the community outside of COVID time for gatherings and parties and all sorts of stuff. And there had been a chairlift which has broken down. And so we are writing a grant to reinstall a chairlift so that those people who have problems walking up the stairs can participate in, you know, fully in the community.
Good. Okay, so let's hear your goal.
Okay, let me enlarge it a little bit so I can read it, because my
And
eyes.
I'm screen sharing. You folks can see what I have here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't catch it. There we go. Okay. The installation of a chairlift in the Townsend Town Hall will allow for full, equal, and unfettered access to all people with difficulty in climbing a staircase. This solution would provide equal access to all 1,200 Townsend residents, as well as people and towns from the surrounding area which use the Townsend Town Hall as well.
To all 1,200 Townsend residents.
Townsend residents, as well as people and towns from the surrounding area which use the Townsend Town Hall as well.
Okay, there are some good things about this. What are they? Review committee. What do we like about this? What's strong?
The first part is awesome.
The installation of a chairlift in the Townsend Town Hall will allow for full, equal, and unfettered access to all people with difficulty in climbing a staircase.
Yes.
Okay. And because it tells exactly what we're going to do, right? It makes it very clear, which is great. Okay, what else? What else is good? There's something something else I can see that I like about this. What else
Are we
makes this?
cutting anything? I think the as well could go.
No, we're not doing that yet. First, we're talking
Okay,
about what
sorry.
we like,
Okay, sorry.
but we are going to cut it. Yes,
Solution
I
provide
agree.
equal access.
I like to all 1,200 residents.
Yeah,
To me, a strength is there's no way we would have known that other towns also use this if they hadn't told us, right? So we know, to me,
Mhm.
this is a strength, is it's not just to the 1,200 township residents. It's actually for a broader, larger community. And to me, that paints a more compelling picture. Because clearly it's not just one town. And it also almost makes me have a more positive feeling about Townsend. I know nothing about this town, but to me, what a generous town they are that they're willing to lend their town hall to other folks.
Mhm.
So to me, that's a real positive.
Who said anything about lending? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Okay, they're a really smart town. They make a fortune off those other towns. All right. However, again, and I'm just going to say, I have never, ever written a goal in half an hour that I've said, okay, perfect, great, let's go. So I just want you to all understand, when our review committee here, is taking little pot shots at it, it's because it doesn't mean it's not a really fine draft, but it's, there's always things that can be improved. And that's true for all of these. What can we do to make this better? It's already got some really good stuff in here. How can it be stronger?
Question we had is, should we try to keep it to one sentence?
Ideally, yes.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking two was fine, but Chairlift Townsend Town Hall, unfettered access to all 1,200 Townsend residents as well as people from the surrounding community. No,
People from surrounding communities.
yeah. We could put in other words, put the 1,200 between all and people in the first sentence.
Oh, let's see.
All 1,200 Townsend residents.
Yeah, and what?
No, in the first sentence, I was just,
Oh, in the
changing the
first
first
sentence.
sentence.
Oh, I see.
yeah, unfettered access to all 1,200 Townsend residents.
Okay, I want to just take a little issue with this.
No,
I want to say that I don't think you need to say, you already said full, equal, and unfettered access to all people with difficulty in climbing a staircase. So I don't even think you need to say provide equal access to all the residents. Do you see why?
but if you say to Townsend residents who
Right.
have difficulty climbing a staircase,
Yeah,
then you put it in the first sentence.
yeah, that's why I think you can actually do that. So you can say in a township to allow for full, you could say to all, oopsie, residents and people from surrounding, I'm not sure if this works, who use.
And then it might be who may have
town
difficulty
hall.
climbing, who may have difficulty climbing a staircase instead of with difficulty. Is how I see it. It's just a,
Does that
What do you
read
think?
well or not? The installation of a chairlift in the Townsend Town Hall will allow for full, equal, and unfettered access to all residents and people from surrounding communities who use Town Hall who may have difficulty climbing. You don't need in climbing, right? Do you agree? We don't need
Right.
in climbing.
mhm.
Okay, let's just not, let's just look at this right now. We may do something else, but is that the, will allow for full, equal. Okay, what else? And do you people in the group who wrote this, does this help? Is this fine?
Yes, it's really, it makes it clear.
Yeah, and it tells you right up front, and I'm gonna say, we may have to do 2 sentences. We're gonna aim for one, but we may. How else could we strengthen this?
Might we change town hall and the second town hall to the community space, or who use?
I think I think we want to make sure that they understand it. I think it's okay to say town hall.
How, as opposed to this building or the building?
That's fine. Who use this building? I want to say, I see something that I really feel like you talk about in your summary that's not here. And does anyone else have an idea before I pipe up or butt in or whatever I'm doing? Is there anything like, okay, this already says that they're going to have access to this building.
Are you
guess
talking
my
about
question-
increasing,
Yes.
increasing participation? Is that what you're hinting at, or?
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is, why does it matter?
What
What
if
if
you,
it's an
what
old
if you,
building that no one uses for anything?
what if you put, because I think what you're driving at is the democracy issue.
Why it matters, why this building matters, why do I want to go to it? Who cares? It's an old drafty crummy building. Why would I go there? What's happening there that I might want to go to needs a chairlift? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Town meeting, among other things, right?
I think so, but we
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
know
you're
that.
talking, the whole thing about this is it's not just town meeting. It's, outside, once COVID is
Right.
gone, the school board meets there, the
Right.
town meeting, people
Right,
have
to me.
parties and events.
Right, so this,
Um,
yeah, I think that's what you need. So this, to me, what you have here is, it would be like, that first part of the sentence when we say we're going to open a senior center, the one I read, but if you didn't say why. You have the what you're going to do here, but you don't say why that matters. Do you see what I'm saying?
what if you said at the beginning, before you say the installation, you said the Townsend Town Hall acts as a gathering place for town meeting, school board meetings, as well as many other town and community functions, period. The installation of a chairlift in the Townsend Town Hall, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to figure out how I
I
can
don't
do
think
it.
you can put all that in one sentence. The sentence will just be,
Let's figure it out if we can, because when you say goal and then you just start with a sentence that isn't a goal, it throws me off a little. So what if you were to say, who use this building? Let's see, people. Let's see, to all, what if we said, I'm going to just say it, to all people from town, let's see, to all people who may have difficulty climbing a staircase, who use this building for town meeting, you said school board meetings, celebrations, community events, and private parties. And then we have to put something about the people, Townsend, we have to say that it's not just Townsend residents, but beyond. Could we somehow say that in one sentence?
to me, the sentence becomes totally unwieldy and totally against Hemingway.
But originally we talked about democracy. And I guess some of it goes into what you were talking about, the
Uh-huh.
senior center is like community participation.
Right, maybe that's it. And I want to suggest that instead of saying the installation of a chairlift, this makes it just a little shorter and active. If we say installing a chairlift. Are you okay with that? Do you
Sure.
see, that makes it a little more active and a little shorter. And this is exactly the kind of thing I do myself. I would very much be likely to start with the installation, and then I'd say, oh, installing a chairlift.
Okay, how about this?
Okay.
How about this? Installing a chairlift in the Townsend Town Hall, comma, which is used for
Now you're getting somewhere.
town meetings, school board meetings, other governmental,
Civic.
other civic meetings,
Good.
celebrations, parties, and other events. You know, I'm scalloping here.
Yeah. I'd skip the parties just because I think celebrations can be
Yeah.
that. And also maybe take out school board meetings as well as town. I mean, just to keep it, town
Public
Meetings.
meetings,
and say that again,
public meetings.
public meetings, yeah. Civically minded public meetings.
Or
just-
I
government,
think you could say in other public meetings. That's good.
celebrations, and community events. I don't know whether, and I'd have to go to my grammar books and stuff. It's the semicolon and would help here somewhere.
I want to say that you don't need full, equal, and unfettered. I think you need 2 out of 3. What is the rest of the
Oh,
group?
no, I like 3.
Well, it's getting, I think that this would
All right,
really,
get rid of unfettered then.
sorry, it's a nice word, I agree, and you can use it later.
Okay.
Save it for later. Installing a chairlift in the Townsend Town Hall, which is used for town and other public meetings, celebrations, and community events, will allow for full and equal access to all residents and people from surrounding communities who use this building, who may have difficulty. Yeah, that just doesn't quite fit there, does it? It kinda
Yeah, no,
makes it awkward.
it's yeah. And
But what if we said
how about just
to,
and residents and the surrounding communities?
no, because surrounding communities don't have difficulty climbing a staircase.
Well, I don't know. Have you seen Ripton? Come on. Oh,
I think that you could say, and to all residents and people, I got it, who may have difficulty climbing the staircase, who are from. is it
no,
residents? You're right. Let's
your
see.
pronouns
To
wrong.
all residents
No, and people from surrounding
and
areas
those
who
from,
have difficulty climbing
Yeah,
stairs. I mean,
and
let
those from surrounding areas,
let the reader
surrounding
imply that they're using the building.
communities, right, and then you can say it later. That's right, who may have
I
difficulty.
can say it when I use unfettered.
Installing a chairlift in the Townsend Town Hall, which is used for town and other public meetings, celebrations, and community events, comma, will allow for full and equal access to all residents and those from surrounding communities who may have difficulty climbing a staircase. Wow,
Wow,
one
nice.
sentence. I'm really impressed.
One picky,
Yeah,
and it's, I don't know whether it's, we say community and communities. I mean, is there another word?
from surrounding towns, good point. Right?
Mhm.
Yep, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, I'm just,
See, and this to me, this is what I love about grant writing. It really is creative. You really have to dig deep. and think about, how can I say this in a simpler word or a different word or a more exciting word? And here I'm going to share one, we're going to move on because we're going to have time for one more, but I want to share one no-no that I find really is a help. This solution would provide, no, it wouldn't, it's not would, it will, because we are going to get funded. We're going to say will.
Right,
We
okay.
never say would or could. We always say will and shall. And you can see how that isn't, it makes it a lot more lively. Okay, moving on. We're now-
Can you, I just, yeah, you're gonna send us this, because I didn't.
Yeah, you know, I realized I didn't, when I sent what I did last time, I mean, today, didn't occur to me to send you what you wrote last time along with the slides. What I'm, you know, live and learn. Next time what I'm going to do is I'm going to send everybody these write-ups along with the next session slides, okay?
Great, no, it's, I
that's
didn't
a-
copy everything.
Yeah,
I
and
just
that will
didn't
do
copy
it. That will
everything
do
down.
it. So I'm learning. Okay, we are going to spend the next 13 minutes on number 3.
Okay.
So tell us very quickly your project again.
The project is the parking area at the West River Trail in South Londonderry.
Right. Okay. What is your goal with this parking area?
Okay. Expand the West River Trail parking area to double the number of year-round accessible spaces. And develop
Yeah.
I say space again. Develop
We'll put space and we'll change it. Okay.
space to display information about the natural, historic, and recreational values of the West River Valley period. Actually, we could, I
Yeah.
was just thinking of something else to add there, but
Okay.
that's what we came up with together. I had Jess and one other person helping.
Yes. So is there something that you wanted, that you came up with that you want to add?
The other thing I was just thinking was to enhance visitor experience.
I think that's good.
West,
Okay. All right. So what is good about this goal? What do we like about it? What speaks to why we might want to fund this? Somebody on my review committee here.
It's really specific about doubling the spaces, the time that they're available and
Uh-huh.
accessible.
So Deb, you actually hit on something, that these are 2 areas that this group was discussing when I was there, and that I thought were really positive that they actually added. Is that they already had year round, and we had a little debate, and they agreed that year round should be included because in Vermont that matters. And also they were talking about, well, should we talk about expanding or increasing, or, you know, give how many spaces? And when they came up with double, I said, wow, that is meaningful. You know, we don't even know how many there are. We will know because they'll tell us. But if you're doubling the spaces, that already speaks to us. We like that. So that's a good thing. It's something else that people like about this. Something else that works. Okay, well, I think that it is really great to put all three of those, as I said in the summary, natural, historic, and recreational. However, I would say value, not values.
Okay,
Do you see why? If we just say the value, I think that speaks more to it. But I
Sure.
think that's great. All right, now, again, you folks made a lot of progress on this and it's really great, but it's, it can be even better. So what are some ideas? How can we even improve this? Yes, Nick?
Double the number of year-round accessible spaces. Is that doubling from 1 to 2, or from 10 to 20, or from 20 to 40?
I actually think it's okay to leave it double right now because we know that in the summary, they're telling us, I think, oh, no, they didn't tell us how many. So that's a good point. That's a good point. The summary did not tell us how many spaces it has now. So yeah, maybe that's a good idea. I do say double is a really strong thing.
Oh,
Um,
me too.
Along those lines, I would get rid of expand the West River Trail parking area to double I would put double at the beginning, double the,
Yeah. I want to ask something before we even do this. So first of all, do you know approximately how many spaces it's has now and how many you'll have? How many it has now?
it's very much just a area of land that's not marked, and it usually has about 6 vehicles in it. And I think we could expand it to 10 or 12.
I would say enhance visitor knowledge.
Okay, here's what I want to say. When you were originally talking about this, when I heard you,
Yeah.
as you just said, it's now a primitive, not very good parking area. And I think that you're going to do more than double the spaces. Like it's not, I got the sense it's not that accessible now. It's not that great, or is it fine? And really the only difference we'll see for our $30,000 is that there'll be 12 spaces instead of 6, and there'll be signage and guides. Or is it actually going to be a better parking area?
It'll be improved with
So why don't we say improve and double? How about that? What do you think, everybody?
Yeah.
And then you'll be telling us in your objectives and tasks how you're going to improve it. And do you understand? So it right there, you're telling us that you're doing more than just doubling the spaces.
Okay.
And okay, and what else? What's another improvement we can do? How can we make this stronger? I think that really helps actually.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I'm not clear. If you look at the wording you have now,
Mhm.
where double is, did you
Yeah.
want to improve and double?
We
Or
want
what
to
did
say
you want?
parking.
Yeah. Improve to me means
You have
Um,
parking R and. Oh,
Sorry, area.
sorry.
That helps. Sorry, I see what you're saying.
okay.
Okay, and I also see that
Well, do
spelled it.
something more about enhancing the visitor experience? Maybe, no, I don't know.
So here's what I want to say also. What I heard you say before and what isn't in here and what was in the summary is something about an old historic railroad. If you don't think that's important, don't put it in. But I think you do think that's important. And if you do, I think, you say West River Valley, but that doesn't tell us anything. That could be a suburb of Long Island. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
is there some way that you can better paint a picture?
So I think maybe
Where is it? What town is it in?
it's in South Londonderry, and it's at the
I would put that. I think that's a really good question. And is there a way that we can talk about that historic or old rail bed? Because I have to tell you, I've never been to the West River Valley and I don't know It just doesn't communicate to me that it mattered, I don't know what's so great about it. If
So.
it's just some trees, well, I can get those anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's great about the trail is that when you're on the trail, you are traveling over remnants of the West River Railroad that is no longer. Is that what you were thinking of?
Yeah, I mean, that's much more evocative. Maybe we can say let's see, how can we say that?
Including the remnants. Information about the natural and recreational value and the I don't know.
I doubt
It's not
there's any way
quite.
to get it in, but I mean, it was called the 30 miles of trouble. I mean, it was an incredibly 36. There you go. Sorry.
Well, that
Yeah.
might, yeah. Of the West River Trail built along the remnants of the original 36 miles of trouble.
Yeah, but then we're going to lose that whole parking area part.
Yeah.
Then it's going to come too late, I think. Improve South Londonderry's West River Trail parking area and double the number of year-round accessible parking spaces.
How about improve the West River Trail experience by, and then start listing.
Maybe
things.
that's a way to do it. We only have 2 more minutes, so we're not going to finish, but we're getting there. And this is, I just think this is a really good experience because this is exactly how we build a goal. You can see, you start with an idea and then you
Take
want
the
to make sure
whole
you get
to enhance
everything in there.
visitor experience and relocate that. That covers.
Yeah, I see, to enhance visitor experience. To enhance visitor experience
I
by,
was even thinking that could be the opener. To enhance.
oh, I see.
But that could come.
Enhance visitor, I see.
I'll stop
Yes,
talking.
Enhance, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Of South Londonderry by why don't we just say, let's see, by improving the parking area, doubling the number of year-round accesses from 6 to approximately 12, and developing space of the remnants. I think that's getting there. You see, it's still a little long, but I think it's better. I think that was a really, and it's amazing how just playing around with these sentences and how you do them. Yeah, I mean, I like that. What do folks think? Is that an improvement? I think
There's
that's
more
great.
there, I think that's of value.
Yeah, no, I think, and enhancing visitor experience is actually what you want to do. So I think that's really great to put that up front. So we are pretty much at the end here. It's amazing how 5 o'clock comes that fast, but really, really great work, everybody. And we're going to keep building on these. And I'm sorry that we couldn't get to the other 2, but that's life. And I hope you can all, kind of apply this to yours. And next week we will be tackling objective, which is equally exciting. So see you all then. And I will
And
stay
before
on for a
you-
minute in case anyone has questions, and I will send you. And you can cut off if you want now, but if anyone has questions, I'll stay on. And I will send you these draft goals and next week's
You will?
slide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering, you recording the sessions? Do we have
are
access? to
recording the
those?
sessions, and you can reach out to Sarah and ask how to get those recordings, because she's going to actually put them up at some
But
point.
if we have copies of the slides, that's great. That's just as good.
Yeah, and at the end, I'm gonna give you just, it'll be much neater and easier. I'm gonna give you a copy of all the slides at the end together.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thanks
Great.
so much, Anne.
Yeah, any
Have
other
a good
questions?
night.
Great work, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Stay warm.
Thank you. You too.